Hello, Pitch Club Goal Getter Group. I am here today with my lovely client, Dr. Judy, who is a member of the Pitch Club Collective. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kaylan Wetzel. I am a business strategist and I'm also head of partnerships at the Pitch Club Collective. And we love to highlight our amazing, brilliant clients. And I asked Dr. Judy to come here today because I love her story, number one. And number two, she's doing so many amazing things in the space. You're welcome. So excited to chat with you today and hear more about your story and just really talk about the transformations and changes that you're making right now in the space, because I think that right now, a lot of people are looking for alternative healing methods, and the things that have worked in the past are not really working anymore. And I feel like that's a theme just in general with a lot of things in life, not just health and wellness, but business and so many other things. And so I'm really excited to dive in and hear more about your story and how you really transform people's lives, because I know that you do based on our previous conversations. So I want to read your bio really quickly just to get started and let everyone here know a little bit more about you and about what you specialize in. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into that. So Dr. Judy is a functional medicine practitioner and a board certified geriatric pharmacist, lifestyle coach, and diabetes care and education specialist. She's the CEO and founder of Holistic Options and Personal Empowerment LLC, aka Hope LLC. I love that so much. Offering a multifaceted program to provide relief from burnout, stress, fatigue, and chronic disease. Hope uses a transformative approach to target the restoration of health and wellness in both body and mind. So amazing. I think the acronym HOPE is such a wonderful thing, especially right now. And like I said, the way that things are happening in the world. So that's so beautiful. And so Dr. Judy, we heard your bio, but I always love to hear kind of your backstory, like what happened behind the scenes before you got all your certifications and became a pharmacist and did all the things. Like, how did you get started into this work?
Well, this work, it's actually everything's happened in this year. So 2021 has been an amazing journey for me, personally, professionally. It's when I really pivoted and found my place. I started New Year's Eve with a diagnosis of COVID after working a full year in healthcare. In the doctor's office, I had been working in a primary care setting, helping a physician handle and manage his patients with very, very comorbid diseases, diabetes, and all these complicated cases I had throughout COVID. So we got through the whole year with every protocol in place to keep ourselves safe and healthy. However, on New Year's Eve, I developed a positive COVID test and went into quarantine January 1 of 21. Unfortunately, I had quite an experience from a mental health and overall wellness issue. I'm a long hauler, so I'm still dealing with that. And it was hard. There was not a lot of information about how to help people like me post COVID, maybe a PTSD type scenario, maybe a little bit of depression that set in, mental health, brain fog. I was in a very difficult place for a few months.
Yeah.
So I had to find my way out of this deep, dark hole. Unfortunately, I lost the physician I was working with due to COVID, and one patient that I had helped at the end of the year. So the three of us kind of came down with COVID at the same time. And no finger pointing, but this is the world we're in and are in. So my journey and my recovery was quite difficult in the first of the year, and I had to find my own answers. So, as a healthcare professional, I knew I wasn't in the right place mentally, physically, and I took a journey. So, it started with some meditation and deep breathing and everything I could do for myself holistically because there was no medication for that,
Yeah.
right? It was finding my way out of the hole. And that journey is really what brought me to holistic medicine. I didn't want a pill. I didn't want to take something for depression. I didn't want to take something to wake me up and be more alert. I just wanted my life back. Really, this is how it all started. So once I got the brain fog lifted, I was able to say, okay, there's so many more health issues I want to deal with. Not happy with my weight, my hormones, perimenopausal, just that funny place I was in at my age, and getting myself better. So I had a health coach. From the health coach, I found other things, chiropractic care, which I've been doing since a very young age with trauma and injuries that I've had. So chiropractic was a big part of my journey as well. Physical therapy, getting myself well, learning the right diet for me and my body. So now I'm not a diabetic patient, and I was treating myself like that. So I really messed up my own metabolism. I wore that healthcare hat, and what I told everybody else to do, I was treating myself that way. So as a woman going through all the things we do in our lives with our hormones, I found a way to treat myself holistically, and to realize that I was an individual. I was not a guideline to be followed or a protocol to be followed. That once I found out through my own personal test, I got better. So I really found myself, this is what works. It's not the medications, it's not the doctors, it's not conventional medicine. It's everybody is so unique. And when we find out through some of the tests that I am doing now what your body's about, we can help you achieve better health too. So now I'm taking my life, my experience, my journey, and I'm able to share that. So the barriers are removed from that traditional healthcare setting in the hospital, in the doctor's office, where I had to do this way. And I can spend time with patients. I can spend time with clients to help them, and individualize their treatment, if you will, and get them to this better place that I've been able to find. So it's really awesome.
Wow, that's such an amazing story. And so how
And
long
it's
were
just
you?
this much time. It's
No, it's
11
a
months, and I'm
big,
like, holy cow.
yeah, it's quite a transformation in a very condensed period of time. And I feel like that happened for a lot of people during this time period with COVID, because we were kind of forced to really look at deep inside of ourselves. And so, the things that were working before don't work now, like I was mentioning earlier. So
Right.
how long were you working in like traditional medicine and pharmaceuticals and all that before
Oh,
this?
yeah. Thanks for asking, because I started my first job in a nursing home as a nurse's aide at 16. My very first job. I knew I was going to be in healthcare. I love helping people. I'm very passionate. It takes a certain individual to take that track, but you know it. You just know it that working with people, helping people is part of what you want to do. So you find yourself in healthcare, people like me. Um, but yeah, so young age, always liked that kind of thing. But I've been a practicing pharmacist for over 30 years.
Wow.
Started my career in retail setting, big chain pharma, moving into hospital, ICU, critical care. I've done it all. I pivoted to primary care in the last few years of my education and career and work, and just continued to get those certifications where these were my patients, these were my clients. As we age, we ended up with more disease states and comorbidities and more medications. And I always wanted to help people, so I found these other opportunities to advance my education and knowledge and skill set to serve the people I helped. And now I'm in the place where, okay, it's not about a pill for that. We don't necessarily need medication, but there's so much more we can do to prevent. So I love my younger population. It's kind of the first thing I'm branching out, and I have children of my own. So it's just kind of nice to say, hey, if I missed a lot of this, right? My career was very focused. I wanted to advance. I wanted to be at the top. Great salary, great career, but I sacrificed a lot, and a lot was my family. I sacrificed a lot with my kids growing up. So that time, that schedule, that stress that I had on myself, and why I wasn't healthy, like I figured that out too, right? So that wasn't the place for me. And now I can take all this knowledge and education and experience and my relationships with patients and practitioners of all kinds, doctors, nurses, my colleagues in pharmacy who are struggling in their careers because they're not happy. And this is just the best place to be. It honestly is. So I'm very passionate about it. But yeah, 30 years it took me to figure it out.
Wow. Oh my
So
God.
I'm kind of grateful for what happened. Not happy that I had COVID, but that's what took it to happen, right? My painful journey and being ill, to recover and get to this place. So I'm grateful for that.
That is so amazing. How did it feel after being like conditioned for 30 years to work in this like traditional space with pharmaceuticals and then to have this awakening? Like, was that hard for you? Did you feel like there was, I feel like it would
Tearful.
almost be being like pulled apart in,
Yeah.
2 days,
It,
So
it's
I would love to hear about that.
Yeah, it's been overwhelming, and I find myself tearful, and maybe that's female hormones, and like holy cow, that awakening, that aha moment, and realizing I don't need to be in this space anymore. That was stressful. That wasn't, nobody's better. Everybody just, you manage your life on a medication and then another one gets added despite all the work I was doing to help people manage meds, and they were staying there but needing more meds, right? So the meds never came off. And really my aha moment was, wow, we really have a sick care system, right? Not a health care system. And I broke that. I just, this is not. So talk about a disruptor. And
Yeah.
some of the doctors I worked with in the ICU and the hospitals and the doctors' offices are like, what is she doing? Because it's like a little voodoo, right? Not needing a medication. And we weren't trained that way. The doctors, like everybody, were following these algorithms and guidelines to treat people with disease. Well, what about the root cause? What about what got them there? We're missing that prevention. We don't focus a lot of time there. We tell people they're pre-diabetic, or you're borderline this and you're borderline that. Go exercise, go diet, go do something, right? And then they don't. They come to you when they're sick, and now they have these conditions, these diseases. So I just want to get people younger and take the already sick population and help them to be better. And I've had some success helping people get off some medications. It's a mindset thing too, right? We can get them, they don't have to be dependent on the medications. And medications are there when we need them, and they are life saving. Like we need medications, but we don't need to get there, and maybe we don't need to be on as many medications. So I like to de-prescribe, but I don't wear that hat anymore. So I'm not taking people off meds, but they're getting better and going back to their doctors, and they're able to say, hey, my blood pressure is controlled. Hey, I don't have diabetes anymore. It's been amazing.
Oh,
People have said, I've worked miracles. And I said, well, miracles may be happening, but I'm not a miracle worker. So we have to keep it all in perspective. But it's just a mindset, a lot of mindset for people getting well.
yeah.
Yeah.
That must feel so amazing and so empowering.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. That heavy weight or burden of the medications, the cost of medication, people can't afford the affordability, the access to medications, insurance company regulations. So there's a lot of not great stuff in that space, right? This is all good stuff. We don't need medications if we can change our diet. Food is medicine. Like there's so much more to the regimen as a whole that we have not done well in conventional medicine. We do a pill for that,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So
I
it's
know
great.
that, yeah, a lot of people in my family have suffered with things like that and, even become addicted to certain medication. And I see that happen a lot. And it's so sad. And, it doesn't have to be that way.
No, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, that is an amazing story. I had goosebumps the entire time. Just think, I can't imagine what it would feel like to
I'm
be a
glad I didn't cry. I usually get to a tearful point thinking about
It's
my journey.
okay. It's okay to cry, like we have our stories and we have
No.
our journeys, but that was amazing to hear from you. So talk about now what you're doing to just help create this clarity in clients. Like how do you start to uncover these root causes? Like what are some of the things that you do with clients?
Yeah, so we start in functional medicine, we like to start with an intake form or evaluation. It's kind of a health assessment. It's you telling us your story. That story usually includes something like, gee, I've had headaches, I've had pain, um, I have these hormonal symptoms. I don't sleep well. I have insomnia, gut issues, a lot of GI issues, but stress is everywhere. Everybody has some amount of stress. COVID has not helped us in that space. Our mental health has deteriorated. We don't know how to handle it. It's been too long in this pandemic, if you will, for people to have to overcome. And there's been no breakthrough of that. We're living a new life, a different life. And I see this, and honestly, it's not just the patients that we see, but it's my friends, my colleagues, our healthcare professionals, any professional working, we're working under a lot of stress. We're working in a different situation, right? So I like that my clients are basically broad spectrum now. I can help that person who's high stress job, whether you're working at home or back to work commuting, long hours. There's a lot of stress in our lives,
Yeah.
and we can't de-stress. So what are the causes? So I think about, we like to talk about, are you sleeping well? What is your diet like? Are you getting the right nutrients for you? And yes, we can do a test for just about anything. And these are not your traditional go to the doctors once a year like I was to get that A plus. You're healthy, good, keep doing the same thing, when I knew I wasn't, right? I know I've gained weight. I know I can't lose weight despite everything I'm doing. But what my challenges were, it's common. It's people have these things, so these are real, and we don't do a good job in modern medicine dealing with it. So there are many new tests we can do, gut health and hair sample tests. So I found out about my own copper toxicity, which has really contributed to many of my symptoms, and I was not aware that I had copper toxicity. So we can do detox protocols, which a lot of it's healthy lifestyle, removing those toxins, supplementing where we're deficient. I had a lot of nutrient deficiency, so taking care of myself and doing my health journey here, getting myself overall well, finding out the root cause. Right? So sleep hygiene, what can we do? There's a lot of free stuff people can do. We can take advantage of breathing on our own and listening. There's apps for that, breathing, meditation, yoga, whatever you like to do. And you don't have to spend hours at the gym, but you can spend 5 minutes doing something very positive to start your day. Those are some things we can do, but I start with the person, the individual, and right from the get-go, yes, I can manage meds and understand where they are in their health,
Mhm.
right? And how the things we have to work for, and everybody's unique. But we can get to the root cause and why they have hypertension or diabetes and what's causing that, why they can't get better, why are they needing more meds to control their diabetes. There's a lot we can do holistically, right? And that's the best part.
Yeah, so you start with kind of the symptoms or the actual like disease that they're currently experiencing, and then you work your way
Yes,
backwards to uncover.
yes, yeah, to
That's so
get root
funny that you
cause.
mentioned toxins because that's something I never ever, I'm sure most of the
Oh.
people in the world, I mean, not most, but a lot of people don't think about that. Like I never think about the things that are toxic maybe in my environment that could be causing, like what are some of those things just for
Yeah,
everyone?
so the simple hair test, and this is probably my biggest seller. You can do it in your home, get a small hair sample, send it out to the lab, and it talks about heavy metal toxicity, mercury, lead. It's in our lives, but how much you don't know until you do a test. Um, and your body's ability to metabolize that toxin, that heavy metal and we're all unique. So once you identify that thing, how is your body handling that thing? Is it able to get removed, metabolized, we say, removed from the body? How are your kidneys operating, your liver operating? Are these things able to digest? That's a generic term here. Um, and can we remove it? Diet and lifestyle are huge. Are you a smoker? Are you a drinker? Medications play a role. So if you're on a medication for a chronic condition, that may prevent your body's ability to remove this toxin that's in your environment. We're getting a lot of toxins from our food, unfortunately. Not everybody can afford to buy organic food. We go to the market, we buy food. If you're getting the right food, whole foods, good. rather than the processed foods that are made and have a lot of contaminants. They have a longer shelf life because they have these ingredients in them that are harmful. So we talk about chemical toxicities, and it's nice to be able to do this virtually because I can speak with the client and say, hey, tell me about your life. How are you living? What's in your cabinets? How are
Yeah.
you sleeping? So there's a lot in our environment, including our use of technology, our cell phones. How do you sleep at night? Is the phone by your bed? Is there a lot of lights in the background? Do you have dark curtains? There's so much we can do for free to just get you in a better, safer place and environment, reduce the toxicity burden, help your body heal, replace your with supplements, that nutrition where you're deficient. So much we can do, and most of it's affordable. There's some higher end items, but people want to get better, and it's worth that value of the test when you know the answer, the root cause, instead of guessing, because people spend a lot of money. They go online, Amazon, Walmart, wherever, CVS, they're buying supplements because they hear they're good for them. But what's good for one person may not be good for another. It's amazing the uniqueness of the inside of our body, not just what we like and our preferences, our culture, our diets, but how the insides of our body are also processing that and handling that. Our
Yeah.
needs are very unique.
I can't even
So,
count how many times I've listened to like, a podcast or whatever. And I was like, oh, I need to take this vitamin or supplement because they say it's good for me. I mean, I've spent so much money wasting time.
yes,
That really
that's
speaks to me. I'm
true.
sure it speaks to a lot of people out there. It's like you hear one thing or you listen to, a podcast or you read an article and you're like, I needed to go do that, and then you find out, well, actually, no, that's probably not the best thing for
And
me.
the quality of these things we're buying online to save money. You're spending a lot of money on a product, but the quality might not be optimized either. And there may be inactive ingredients in a pill or a supplement. So getting people to the right place to purchase really good and pure products to make sure you're getting just those ingredients, that you're not getting additives and things that your body doesn't need for sure. So that's important too.
Yeah, definitely. And when you find out you have some of these toxins, like what are some of the methods that you do to overcome that or like detoxify from some of these like heavy metals and
Yeah.
things like that?
Yeah, the detox is quite an interesting thing. And it's a funny word to say
Yeah.
to people, but really you want to get these things out. And there's many ways, there's different cleansing protocols, if you will. I'll give myself as an example, to remove copper from my body and understanding now more about my metabolism. Being a slow metabolizer, it's going to take me 3 months to get copper out, but I have to avoid certain things. My body was craving food sources. So things I love, avocados, chocolate, wine, the things that I was, nuts and seeds. My diet was kind of a paleo place where I was consuming the things I love that were healthy. So I was eating healthy, but these things were help maintaining a copper level in my body, a toxic copper level, because they contribute themselves to copper toxicity. So I am on a regimen for 3 months as a slow metabolizer to wash out the copper, to replace everything I'm deficient in, and all my B vitamins, my zinc, my vitamin C, that I was taking mega doses. It didn't matter because copper was in the way from me absorbing these nutrients. So I have some supplements that I'm taking. I have foods that I am minimizing or avoiding, to cleanse my body, and then some digestive and metabolism type products to help my body work well, and eliminate the copper. So it's kind of like a three-part thing. And then I should retest, so I will be retesting in January. I'm in the middle of my detox protocol, so I will be retesting my hair in January, to see where I am and hopefully be able to enjoy my foods, my nuts and seeds and avocado again. So it's important for me to get that out so I can feel better. It really was amazing for me to learn what copper toxicity was doing in my body, and every symptom I had. So my own health assessment was, here's what I have: allergies, brain fog, which I was attributing to COVID. So all my symptoms, backache and all these things, were actually anemia, which as a woman, we attributed that to being female and having our menses, my anemia. Copper has really prevented my body to absorb nutrients and vitamins, creating this anemia, creating the back pain that I was dealing with, or contributing to, not the root cause maybe, but contributing to all these symptoms I had. So when I can detox fully and retest and have that copper at the appropriate level I should, it will be wonderful to see if all these symptoms, I have 4 or 5 symptoms that copper contributed to, and I'm expecting those to be better because I'm already feeling better. So I know I'm on the right track to health in that manner. But, working with clients who have also done this hair test, they're all over the board, lead, mercury, or some other common toxicities. Some of it's food, some of it's environment. So just knowing, again, if you don't know and you keep looking for medications and other things to help you get better, you might never not, because there's this root cause, for me, copper. That was the example. So I don't mind sharing my story because it helps to explain, I guess, what can happen. And it's
Yeah.
real. It's real to me.
Ever think about any of those things? I mean, I know I don't think about those kind of things. I know like I experience certain symptoms, but to think that copper, like I would never in a million years think of that as like a contributing factor or any kind of like heavy metal to any symptoms that I have. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and I take so many vitamins before because of COVID. I was trying to keep my immune system strong. Multivitamins all have copper. Copper is an essential element that we need some amount in our body to do metabolism and different enzyme reactions. So we need some, but I was not in a good place. And it's a hormone disruptor too. It was kind of,
Yeah.
contributing to some symptoms I had hormonally, PMS, migraines. So yeah, that was another thing.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just in 1 month feeling better and knowing I'm on the right track. I'm like, this is really working. This is cool. You know, on
That's
top of the other things I do with the breathing, the meditation, and all the good things I can do for free and get myself well.
yeah.
So now
And
it's sustaining that.
I love that you mentioned breathing and meditation, because I think a lot of people don't think about that when it comes to their health. They feel like they need some kind of like outside like source of healing, or they need this, they need that, but they don't actually come back to themselves and really like take the time to breathe, meditate. And I think that is such a beautiful approach.
5 minutes, 5 minutes. People think everything has to take an hour and they don't have time. I had to find 5 minutes in my day because this is how I start my day. Now it's easy. You incorporate those things, and there's a few other things I'm doing, but anyway, just a little bit.
Yeah, I think we always
Amazing.
think it has to be this massive change. I know that's for me, it was always my struggle with health and like trying to, get to a certain result, is that I thought it had to be this like big giant change. I had to change every single thing. It had to be so drastic. And I think that makes it not attainable. If you take it like little by
Exactly.
little and achieve things that are attainable, then you feel better, and it makes you, be able to understand, okay, if I do this, then it's going to make me feel so much better. And then I'm going to be able to do something else. And you just add the layers on, and it just makes you feel so much better overall.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I love your acronym HOPE. So talk to me a little bit about that, because I want to hear more details.
Um, I actually started with that. I felt hopeful. I found hope. I just when I talk to people, I'm like, they needed hope in their lives. So that's how I started. And then I kind of created the name Holistic Options and Personal Empowerment. And then it was it. It was like another epiphany, right? I'm like, this is gonna work. And I know that I'm doing that because I was doing that with my pharmacy hat. Every patient I helped and worked with, um, the testimonials they provided made me feel like it wasn't me. I'm like, that's me they're talking about. I mean, I have some phenomenal testimonials from people who I know I helped, but the way they speak to it. So when you change someone's life like that, and this was pre-hope, this was my pharmacy hat and how I was helping people. So adopting that, how I work with people, there's a personality thing there. You either enjoy working with people and helping people, or you're different. and you're more of a service line provider in a different way. So we all have our niche, and mine happened to be working with people and helping people and educating people, counseling people. So that skill never left me as a pharmacist, and I
Yeah.
can bring that into holistic and really talk about things. And I love giving information. The information part is the free part, what you do with it. But as a lifestyle coach, I can help to motivate you. And it is baby steps. I can't say, here's the 5 things you need to do. Here are 5 things you can do. Here are some options. But start low and go slow. That's what you can't just go out to get a gym membership. Like one of my doctors was recommending, you need to go get a membership to the YMCA and start swimming. That's really good for your back. And I'm like, don't like swimming, don't want to get another membership for something I like working out in my home. So I don't like to speak to clients and patients like that. You can't tell them what to do, but you can show them. You can show them all these options, provide and let them pick what works for them, but helping them get there. Because, like you said, people don't know. And this breathing and this meditation, these things that are free, go for a walk. Stand up, go outside, go walk to your mailbox, take your dog for a walk. If they have a pet, it's great because that becomes a big stimulator, a motivator for people to get out. And it's winter here in New England, so the weather is always, I don't want to say an excuse, but it does prevent people from getting outside. They're too cold, the snow's on the ground. So we have to find things we can do indoors. So now again, the options, I'm like, how can I help you find options? What do you think? What's a good idea? What do you like to do? I really empower the person. I can't tell you what to do because that never works. It doesn't work in healthcare. We tell people to take their meds. We tell people to lose weight. Right? I know that doesn't work. My doctor's telling me what to do. So anyway, it's a good space. I'm just happy to be here and help people discover what works for them. And everybody's so unique. So even though I have programs and packages, there's so much individualization or personalization because everybody needs what
Yeah.
works for them.
I
And
know.
that's the success because once you convert, and I'll say convert, that might not be the best word, but when the light goes on for somebody else, like I can do that. I can do 5 squats or whatever. Good, do 5. Put on some music, jam out, whatever. Something motivate. Everybody has a thing, they just don't know what it is. And it's
Yeah.
really cool when I help them discover that. And
Mhm.
again, the pet thing is has been a big key. Like, do you have any pets? Yeah, I got a dog, right? I'm like, bingo, that's
Yeah.
easy,
It's like
right?
whatever makes people feel good and
Yeah.
feels like fun and attainable to them, it's gonna get that traction going. Cause I think sometimes when you're stagnant and you don't do anything, you just stay there and you marinate in it. And it's just you gotta
Yes.
do something that feels good for where you are, and then you have to progressively keep going. So I love that. And I can tell that it just lights you up so much to do this work. Like yeah, I feel
Yeah.
it. I feel your energy. I have goosebumps just listening to you talk. I
Oh.
can tell that you're so passionate about what you do. And it's just amazing. It really is. And I'm
Well, for
passionate
the first time, people's lives are changing. Like I see it, I feel it. They're telling me it's so cool. I feel so blessed to be in this space. It's empowering for me too to share this knowledge and like help them get there. It's amazing.
yeah, because you have so much knowledge from like the complete opposite end of the spectrum and also just like the new work that you're doing. So I
Yeah.
love that you can combine like both of those
Yeah.
backgrounds into something that's just so beautiful and empowering. So how can people find out more about you, Dr. Judy? So like where
Oh.
I'm like, I need to know about all this heavy metal. This is like I'm like, now you have my wheels.
Well, listen, this is the opportunity, Kaylan. So I'm doing I launched my business on my birthday in November. So it is a new launch, a new website. Everything's running up and running. I have my Black Friday special. I'm doing this comprehensive consult. I decided to add because it's so valuable, the heavy metal toxicity test. So for original price is $5.95. It's a great deal. I'm doing 50% off with the heavy metal test, hair test. You can do in your home. Have somebody cut your hair. It's a little easier. But all the information is on my website, Dr. Judy, just Dr. Judy at drjudym.com. I have a Facebook page for Dr. Judy as well. You can my calendar link is there, my website information is there, but 50% off, you're getting a 90-minute comprehensive consult. That's when we have that intake form. We go over your health issues. What are your concerns? What are you looking for? How can I help you? But hey, let's do this heavy metal toxicity because there may be something, a root cause to everything that's going on in your life, or at least something that may be contributing. So if we start there, that's my start low, go slow. Let's find out if that's something we can do because it's easy. So 50% off, great deal with the heavy metal test, Black Friday special. So it's going to go on for the weekend. So I'm really excited to have that up and running. So Facebook is a great place. I'm on LinkedIn as well. So you can find me there. Judy Magalhaes, long, hard name to spell, but website or Facebook is probably the best.
Perfect. And we'll definitely drop all those links in the comments for everyone listening today. And definitely reach out to Dr. Judy because she's amazing. I've only known her for a couple of weeks, but I love your passion and your expertise and just everything and all the hope that you're providing. So thank you so
Oh,
much for
thank
sharing
you.
your time and your story with me today. I'll be seeing you again soon inside the collective. But yeah, so everyone definitely follow Dr. Judy and learn more from her. Check out her website and have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Bye bye.
Bye.